the main thing I've been doing is Pip and I have binged also binged through over the last 2 weeks. Veep.
Veep, yes,
Veep.
yeah,
I've heard about that.
Yeah, so Veep is HBO's take on The Thick of It, adapted by Armando Iannucci for the American audience. And it's one of those. It's a little bit like an American Office situation where I actually
it's good, isn't it?
I think it's at times better than The Thick of It.
Yeah, some parts of it, yeah.
It's certainly more coherent storytelling rather than just because the Thick of It was like 3 episodes at a time whenever there was something big political happening.
Yeah.
Or whereas this is like a coherent plot that runs through. If you haven't seen it, it stars Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who you know most as Elaine from Seinfeld. Playing Selina Meyer, the Vice President of the United States, as it starts. And the series follows Meyer and her team as they attempt to make their mark and leave a legacy, but often instead get mired in the day-to-day political games and absolute bullshit because they're all kind of inept.
Yeah, the crap.
All of them, they are crap. And there's 7 series of it, and the series kind of runs through the very start where Selina is the Vice President to something Hughes, I can't remember his full name. And as it goes on, she eventually...
James.
No, it's not James Hughes. Something else. But either way, eventually she kind of goes up. He resigns, so she becomes the president for a brief period of time. Then she goes into an election cycle, and you get the kind of the bitter end of politics. It is such a biting satire of how crooked and cryptic and horrible American politics are.
All politics.
No, well, especially American politics, with just the way money is focused on everything and the things,
lobbying.
Yeah, with lobbying, the things that people are willing to do to retain or to retrieve power. It's absolutely like I don't want to kind of spoil the last episode, but the last episode, you see the real true colors of Selina, like how dirty and horrible a character she is at her core, and what she's willing to do to become the president again.
Yeah.
And it's fucking brilliant because every other character in it gets a kind of happy ending, but she doesn't, and I really like that.
She doesn't deserve one.
No, she doesn't deserve one at all, and it's brilliant. The writing is superb. The performances are brilliant. Hugh Laurie has a guest spot for the last couple of seasons as a rival senator called Tom James. And he's put his house accent on again, so he's gone American again. But he's fucking brilliant. He's so funny.
It's pure house, though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He only has one American accent.
Yeah, and that's house.
Yeah.
Is there a creative swearing like the thick of it though?
Well, actually, funny you brought that up because I've made a collection of my favorite insults.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
some good ones.
Unlike the thick of it, it's not just a Malcolm Tucker character throwing these insults out. There's about 6 characters throughout the whole thing, which will throw the most creative sweary insults out there.
Yep.
So, for instance, we'll start off low here. You know, you're about as annoying as a condom filled with fire ants. What are you laughing about, Jolly Green Jizz Face? This one was one of the characters, one of the characters taking the piss out of this character's new car. And he says, "Like your mum, it's been previously loved and paid for by a couple of guys."
I like that.
Your secretary to the vice president. That's like being Garfunkel's roadie. Settle something for me, Jonah. You like to have sex and you like to travel? Then you can fuck off. The next 2 are kind of longer ones, but I fucking love these so much. Imagine something small has crawled up a dead cow's ass, and then that small thing actually dies itself. If that dead thing then farted out a sack of eggs, but each individual egg is a smaller, rotting dead thing, that's how toxic she is.
Great show.
I love this one. You're not even a man. You're like an early draft of a man, where they just sketched out a giant mangled skeleton, but they didn't have the time to add details like pigment or self-respect. You're Frankenstein's monster if his monster was entirely made out of dead dicks.
That's fucking brilliant.
And the last one, I think this is actually from the first episode. This is something Selina says. It says, "That's like trying to use a croissant as a fucking dildo. Let me be more clear. It doesn't do the job and it makes a fucking mess." So yeah, the writing in it's absolutely stellar. There's some fucking wonderful insults in it. So the last season 7, came out in 2020. So it was obviously filmed just before the pandemic. There is so much kind of like stuff kind of turning and swirling around kind of Trumpism. There are characters that actually just repeat things that Trump had said. It's it kind of
one of the episodes was going to get banned in America at one point, but they lobbied against it getting banned and stuff. There's a lot of shit behind it.
Yeah, they managed to encapsulate just how toxic American politics can be in a way that's actually still funny to watch, but is also kind of horrifying.
Yeah, because a lot of it is set in truth, isn't it? That's the problem.
All of it's set in
truth. But
truth.
so was the thick of it.
Yeah. So I would hardly recommend everybody watches it. I think it's a really funny show. The seasons aren't short. Like the first season's 8 episodes. Most of them are 10 episodes. The last season's 7 episodes. So you can rattle through most of it in a day.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, and they're all half-an-hour episodes as well. But it's just really funny, and you will cry laughing at some parts. There are some insults that come out that made me kind of choke on my drink. I really think it's fucking brilliant.
So you can ask for.
Yeah, it's and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, she is absolutely fantastic as Selena because she's good. She has that politician smile, where she's having that smile, but behind her eyes you can see she's thinking, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Which she frequently also says as well.
Unrested bitch face, as I've heard it's been known as.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Watch Veep.